All right, so let's talk about meiosis. So meiosis is cell division for sexual reproduction. So that's important because that means that the only reason for meiosis to occur is to create cells for sexual reproduction. So if we have an organism that does not reproduce sexually, it will never undergo meiosis. No cells will undergo meiosis unless it is specifically for sexual reproduction. And so when we talk about meiosis, it's a very narrow, like, here's what happens, and it happens every step to facilitate sexual reproduction. And so what I want to do right now is I just want to talk a little bit about some of the stages so that we can sort of get a focus on how they go. I'm not necessarily concerned with you memorizing all the stages, but rather having an idea of where the key steps occur. So meiosis starts with prophase one, which is what we have right here. Prophase one is what happens as this, which is the DNA. DNA typically just looks like somebody took a ball of string, threw it on the ground, and let it unravel. But for the process of meiosis, that DNA has to sort of curl up into chromosomes, those X's that you're familiar with at this point. And so during prophase one, that's what happens. This DNA becomes those chromosomes. Now, what actually happens really importantly in meiosis one is that homologous pairs match up with each other. So this is a human being. This could be chromosome 1 and chromosome 1. Human beings have 23 chromosome pairs. So you have 46 chromosomes, but you have 2 copies of chromosome 1, 2 copies of chromosome 2. And so because they come in pairs, what happens during prophase 1 of meiosis is they pair up with their partner. So if this was chromosome 2 and this was chromosome 2, they would find each other. Now, there's also this process here called crossing over, where sections of the legs of these chromosomes will swap. This increases variety and is called recombination. So prophase 1, homologous pairs partner up, crossing over occurs. The next big step we have is Metaphase One. Now, here's what's really important. In Metaphase One, meaning what happens in meiosis 1, these chromosomes line up in the middle of the cell. But, once again, they line up with their partner. So they line up in the middle of the cell, but they line up in homologous pairs. Then what happens is these protein structures called spindle fibers or kinetochore fibers, which is what's right here, connect to one member of each pair. Next in our big steps is Anaphase One. Now what happens in Anaphase One is those partners were separated. They were pulled to opposite sides of the cell. So over here, I have a chromosome 1 and a chromosome 2, a chromosome 1 and a chromosome 2. So those are the big key things. What happens in prophase 1, metaphase 1, anaphase 1. By the time we get to telophase 1, we've got 2 cells, right? And each of these cells has half the genetic information of the first cell. And so we refer to them as haploid. Okay? That's what that term haploid means, that it has half the genetic information. But as you probably could, sort of figure out from the fact that we keep talking about prophase 1, metaphase 1, anaphase 1, telophase 1, meiosis actually has a second division. Now, in this second division, prophase is sort of the same. Prophase 2, they create chromosomes again. But this time, there's no pairing up. There's no crossing over. They just make chromosomes. And then they immediately get to metaphase 2. And in metaphase 2, they still line up in the middle of the cells. But since our cells are haploid now, they line up single file. And then that takes us to Anaphase Two, where instead of the pairs being separated, now these sister chromatids, 2/2 of the X, are separated. See, this is really important. This X right here is actually 2 copies of the same stuff. That's what happens as a result of DNA replication, is the copies are made. Once this happens, these 2 cells divide. These 2 cells divide, and I have 4 haploid gametes. Each of these can become a sperm or an egg, and then the process of sexual reproduction, you can fertilize them, and then when you combine 1/2 plus 1/2, you end up with 1 whole. So, meiosis, there's 2 phases, 1 and 2. It creates 4 haploid nuclei. In males, after meiosis is done, there's a process called spermatogenesis, which turns each of those 4 cells into 4 sperm. And in females, there's a process known as oogenesis, which turns one of those cells with all of the cellular material into 1 egg. And the other 3, which are just the nuclei, are discarded. This makes sense because if you think about it, right, this process and this process are 2 sides of the same coin. And so what happens is evolution would change the process, not create a brand new process. And so you use the same process that makes sperm, and you just funnel all the cellular material to one of the cells, so it's a useful egg, and you discard the other 3 nuclei, because that's the path of least resistance. It's easier to just do that than to create a new process from scratch. All right, that's a brief summary of